Hi, welcome to Unscripted. Today, our topic is going to be about getting out of isolation. And here we are, three women who have had pretty extraordinary health journeys, and we just wanted to have some real talk today, share a little bit about what getting healthy has been to us, and how we have learned how to be more vulnerable. It's definitely been a journey of learning so much about myself personally, and it's been such a rewarding experience to really understand how vulnerable I had to become, and really how being surrounded by like-minded people has really made a big difference for me, knowing that I'm not alone. I'm not the only one feeling this way. And I think for 25 years of my life, I'd always struggled with my weight. I never really knew what I needed to do, and I thought it was something that I had to do on my own and that I was embarrassed and shameful about. But the more and more I talk to people, the more I understand that this is something very real and very common in other people. And I think I used to always feel like I had to put on the happy face for everybody. And, oh, somebody would ask me how you are. And I would always say, oh, I'm so happy, everything's great, life is good. But deep down inside, I really felt very empty. And I think that I just always had to cover things up. And I think that's what the most rewarding part of what, my health journey's been about, is really accepting and understanding things had to change. Like, what I currently was doing wasn't working for me. It wasn't giving me the life that I wanted. And so I'm here with April and Pamela today, and we're just going to have some real talk with you guys, and, hope that we can just offer you some hope, and just help you to feel not alone wherever you're at in your journey and whatever you're looking to accomplish in any area of your life. So anyway, who wants to go first, ladies? Who wants to jump in and just share a little bit about kind of what's made a difference for you? Not both at once.
Well, I'll go ahead and start. For me, I had tried so many different things in my life, and I really did feel like I was kind of by myself, and that whatever I did, I had to do by myself. So I found that when I really put my trust in others and followed a path that they had found to be successful, that helped me in my journey. And so that to me was the most important thing, being vulnerable and allowing myself to trust that whatever worked for somebody else was going to work for me too.
And I'll just add to what April said, that I think I recognized early on when I decided that, or realized that I was unhealthy, that I was used to taking care of myself as well. I was a very independent person, and so it was hard for me to really ask for help in anything. And it was easy enough for me to take care of myself, do things for myself, and have control over all of that. But I think I realized one of the things that the more I did that, then the more I pushed people away, the more then I made it feel like those closest to me didn't feel needed. And the more I did that, then the more I felt alone and lonely. And the more I felt that way, then the more I started to disconnect with the people I really cared about. So when I made the decision, or I made a realization that I was not healthy, that I was tired of being overweight, that I realized that I needed people to help me get healthy, because I couldn't push myself anymore. I didn't have all the answers, and I just didn't have any more inner motivation to push myself. And it was really hard for me to get to admit that I needed help from others and support from others, because I was so used to doing it on my own. And so I see others around me that struggle with their health in a similar boat, where they like to do things on their own. They like to do things for themselves. And so I see and can connect with that.
We had talked the other day, Pamela, and that kind of stemmed the reason why I thought it would be fun to kind of just get this out there for other people to hear about. You had mentioned about feeling like you were on an island of isolation, and that you were making choices. I'm going to let you share a little bit about that thought process for you, because it really resonated with me when you were talking about that. And I think a lot of other people could resonate with, and maybe give them, just to kind of see what the change happened in you, like once you got off that island and you really started allowing those people in, just kind of maybe the thoughts of how you were feeling before you got started and before you opened your mind to trying something new and allowing people in. Oh, you're muted.
So I think that for me to admit that I needed help was probably the most vulnerable that I had been in a long time. And so realizing that I didn't have all the answers, and realizing that I couldn't push myself, that that I needed help was really scary, because I didn't feel that means that they would see the real me, and I felt like the real me was broken. I felt the real me you know just was lost and unhappy, and I was afraid that if people saw that, then they would see how much didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't picture myself in a healthier state. And so getting people to opening up myself and the energy to let people in was something that was a big step in almost reconnecting with who I really am, because I was so used to covering up and shielding and putting up my best face painted and dressed up, that I wasn't feeling anymore. I wasn't letting people see what I was truly feeling. I was just being who they wanted me to be. And so the more I let people see who I am, the more I realize that I am okay the way I am. And that now I have an opportunity to just let more people see who I am. And then that just helped me then, help me make better decisions on doing things for myself that would make me happy.
I love it. I love it. I so can relate to everything that you said, and understanding too that, I had to learn so much of that as well, and realize that I think what changed for me is that when I really started opening myself up to people and understanding that there's so many other people on the same boat, like so many other people that felt like they had to show up a certain way too. And it's not like we're trying to, you know, complain all the time, but it's almost a freeing experience to be like, oh my gosh, you feel the same way? Oh my gosh, I'm not the only person that feels this way. There's not something wrong with me. And that's what I think is so important about, the saying that is, you become like the 5 people you surround yourself the most with. And there is so much truth in that. There is just so much truth in that. What's really, I think, helped set me free and understanding is that whole learning to love myself feeling, because I was turning to food for comfort, plain and simple. Like, I couldn't get enough sugar in my body. I couldn't get enough of that. And so I kept going back for more, looking for that comfort. But guess what? It was never good enough, because I wasn't loving who I was on the inside. It was never satisfying me enough. Therefore, I kept going back for more, going back for more. And for so many people, it's something different. For me, it was chocolate. It was carbohydrates. It was bread, chocolate, anything sweet that would be like, oh my gosh, I just have to have that. And that's all I could focus on at that point. But the more and more people I talk to, the more and more people I understand, you know what, I'm not the only one. So maybe I don't have to carry this burden anymore. maybe I don't have to feel like it's just me that's feeling this way. And I think that's why we wanted to do this little talk today. It's because we're just letting you know, if you're feeling this way, you're not alone. And really focusing on loving who you are internally, sometimes we don't know how to do that alone either. It takes a lot of personal growth and development to really start accepting if we've lived the majority of our life looking at our faults, looking at our things that we don't like about ourselves. And it's a new thought process. It's a new way of thinking. And so for me, the biggest changes and the biggest transformation that's happened in me is truly my healthy mind. Yes, I lost 30 pounds 5 years ago. That's fantastic. But the real reward is honestly me being able to love who I am as a person and focusing more on what good I want to do and where else I can find comfort, instead of always turning to the food and always turning. And so for me, that was huge turning point. And I couldn't have done it without my healthy community. I couldn't have done it without mentorship. And that's, if anyone wants to be successful at anything in life, it comes from mentorship. And so for me, that was a huge, huge turning point. And I'll tell you, it doesn't feel so alone, right? I don't feel so isolated anymore. I don't feel like I have to be in hiding. I can embrace my life, and I can start creating the life that I want to live, and being a better mom and being a better wife, and really feeling and understanding that I'm in charge of this, and I don't have to be recluse. I don't have to feel like I'm isolated because I'm the only one thinking this way. So, April, did you have anything that you wanted to add to your own experience?
Well, I really love the part that you said about being like the 5 people that you surround yourself the most with. I know that for me, what happened to me on my journey is it's very much like what both of you said. I got more self-confidence, and by being more self-confident, that opened me up to being with people that fed me that self-confidence, not the food feeding me, but the people feeding me. And so that also led to me delving more into personal development and reading things that fed me better. So for me, it's going to be a constant journey. I mean, for the rest of my life, I'll be on this journey. But the journey I was going on before was a downward journey. I'm now on an upward journey. And the sky is the limit as far as I'm concerned, because my outlook has gotten so much better. I was always a glass half full kind of person anyway, but now I'm a glass 3/4 full. So I just, and it is the community. It is the people that I'm now surrounding myself with that's feeding me way more than food could have ever fed me.
I love it. I love it. And I think too that there's just that temporary satisfaction that we get, and always remembering that, when we turn to brownies, why is it that one brownie is never good enough? Why is it that one glass of wine is never good enough? Why is it that we keep going back? Because it's just a temporary satisfaction. But when you do get to personally grow and really understand how to re-educate your mind to look differently, looking at fuel that's going into your body is truly fuel. It's truly fuel. It's allowing your body to work and get up and have energy. And I had to look at it a little bit, make a little tweak in my perspective, and understand that, you know what, I was treating my body like I was a human garbage disposal. That's how I was treating my body. And the result I was getting was clearly a result that I was not happy with, and that was making me fall deeper and deeper, disgusted and depressed. And so even just that one little thing, it was an awakening of understanding that, you know what, quality in, quality out. Junk in, not so happy with the result. So that was definitely a big eye-opener for me too as well. Pamela, any parting words from you?
Well, I just really saw how unhappy I was equal or connected to with how isolated I made myself, disconnected with people. I lost a lot of friendships or disconnected with some friends over time because I was unhappy. Facebook wasn't a place where I wanted to broadcast anything. I didn't feel like I had anything to be happy about. Social media wasn't something where I wanted to show up because I didn't feel good about what I looked like and I didn't really feel good about my life. So I realized that I was disconnected with so many people who are important to me, so many things that were important to me, things that I love to do, because I was unhappy with where I was with a lot of aspects of my life. And it wasn't about what I was putting in my body. It was about how I was feeling about myself. I didn't feel like I had any, much to offer. I'd feel like, guilty about this or bad about this, or just, and so that disconnection with people made me more unhappy, because I just kept the cycle of making myself unhappy and expectations not met. And I just, it was a cycle that I would just keep myself in, because I had no one around me to remind myself how beautiful I am, because I couldn't do that for myself. So I think that, the more I started to realize that I wasn't doing things for myself that made me happy, naturally it made me want to invite more people in. Naturally, then I wanted to bridge myself again and revisit those friendships that I had let go, without any judgment of myself or other people. And it was only when I decided that I was going to get back to what made me happy or makes me happy and re-explore that, did I really then re-explore the bridges with people and things that ended up fueling and refueling my life in ways that now I feel immense joy. And then that connection then helped me become more and more vulnerable as a result, where then I didn't feel like I had to shield myself from things and people and society and show up to Facebook as someone that I knew that I wasn't. Because I know a lot of people hate Facebook and social media, because for the same reasons probably that I felt, where it was comparative reality. I didn't feel like I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to show for where I'm at in my life. And it was just constantly making me feel bad. But what I want to let people know is that everybody is in the same boat. They've all felt that they weren't good enough at some point. But connecting with what brings you joy, what means something to you, can help you get out and want to build that bridge back to people again.
And it's amazing how full life becomes when you can let go of that, right? When you get off of that island. Like, it's amazing how life is so full now. And I know that because of that, because I learned to, get surrounding myself with more successful people in the world of being healthy minded, overall well-being in my life, really looking at the components that were pulling me down. There were so many components that I didn't feel like I could get my finances together. I didn't feel like I could get my body healthy. I didn't feel like I could get control of anything. I didn't feel like I was a great mom or a great wife. I was just letting life happen. Mm-hmm. But through this process of personal growth and development and really learning from people who are successful in these areas, how I can take control of my life has completely changed all areas of my life. And it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And that's the thing. I could never have done this without mentorship. I could have never done this without having someone walking alongside of me, believing in me, cheering me on, and showing me, like visually, fully showing me that it can look different. And it's such an empowering experience. And getting that one little victory, no matter what it was for me, after I lost my 30 pounds, I mean, honestly, after I lost 10 pounds, I started feeling more victorious. So for me, what awakened me was actually weight loss. That's what awakened me. I started feeling better. I started seeing myself better. I started learning from others. And then that trickled off into all areas of my life and the way I'm raising my kids, my marriage, taking priority and making those things a priority that are important. And so it's really awesome to see that, you know, the three of us have three different stories, but we share so much in common. And now seeing, I mean, in just like a second to wrap it all up here in like 10 seconds each, how is your life different? I just shared a little bit about mine, but literally, how is your life different?
I can't even begin to put into words. I have this energy and wanting it, a desire to change the world in that I can't even put my arms around. And I know when I get excited about how I want to live life and I want to help people, people feel that. And I never thought that I could be this happy when I don't have, even when everything isn't perfect. I don't have everything in my life at all, believe me. But I just have this inner joy that is like, all right, world, I'm ready to take it on. I'm ready for you, and I'm ready to make the impossible possible in whatever way I need to.
I love it. April, do you have anything to add as well?
You know, I read something today in my personal development reading that was saying that 95% of people by the time they reach retirement age are not anywhere near where they want to be in happiness. And I don't want to be in that 95%. I want to be in the 5%. And so the way that I'm structuring my own life, the reason that I feel like I'm finally doing that is I'm going to be in that 5%. And to me, that is exciting. And I'm not kidding. I wake up every day at 5:15 in the morning, every day, because I want to, not because I have to, because I want to. And I get more done by 8 o'clock in the morning than 95% of the people, because that's what I want to do. And it gives me great joy. When I go to bed at night, I'm excited about getting up at 5:15. In a million years, I would never have thought that I would have felt that way before I started my journey. And now that, look where I'm at. I mean, I am seriously excited when I get up at 5:15. I'm actually now considering earlier. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, my life has completely changed. Absolutely.
I love it. So much joy to be had out there, and learning how to take control of your day instead of your day controlling you, which I think the majority of the people, that 95%, I think honestly, I know I was in that 95%. And so we just hope that today's little talk can just provide some inspiration and hope for you. Get yourself in community, get yourself with people, surround yourself with people that are going to help you move forward and believe in you in your life. And anyway, your life's out there waiting for you guys. So one step at a time. And we're just really glad that you were able to join us today. Have a great day, everyone.